thing that I want to cover with you here today is, last week I was in Springfield and I was doing my free life. And whenever I do my free life, I always come in a day early and I do like a 3-hour mastermind on a topic. And they wanted me to cover shift proofing the business. And so I took the shift proof course, chunked it way down into a 3-hour presentation. And what I wanted to revisit with you all is the first step to the shift proofing your business. And that is what I call, and Josh Anderson stole as a URL. It's called Grit, Grind, Unbeatable Mind. And so what I wanted you guys to get from this, or what I want you to get from it today, is there is a formula that I follow all the time in coaching. Many of you have heard of it, and it's I plus R equals O. Ingredients plus recipe equals outcome. And the reason I use this all the time is because if you're looking at a very specific outcome, so let's say that your goal is to take 10 listings every single month. So we put that in as the outcome, then we reverse the formula. Okay, so what is the recipe that would ultimately allow us to hit that? And then what are the ingredients that we need in the recipe? It's no different than baking a chocolate cake. If our goal is to bake a chocolate cake, then we're going to need a recipe. The recipe is going to tell us the ingredients that we have to go to the store and get. So the reason I'm sharing that with you is because as it relates to the outcome of possessing an unbeatable mind, I've come up with 5 things here that I think are really, really important to create an unbeatable mind. The first one, and some of these are words and phrases that I've made up. Others are words and phrases that I've ripped off. Some of you have heard this. I know I've mentioned it a few times on Monday Morning Mojo, but the first one is environmental indifference. All I mean by this is that the environment does not determine your success. We are indifferent to the environment. And if you're looking at, if you're a buyer's specialist and you're saying like, things have gotten really hard, what I want you to do is just go to the beginning of October in your MLS. And I want you to look at, in your area, MLS, zip code, subdivisions, whatever area makes up your pond, how many homes have gone under contract since October 1st? So let's just say that that number is 1,000. Then you're going to take that and divide it into your contract's accepted goal. So if your contract accepted goal is 6 at this point in the month, then you're looking at just under like, I don't know, a fraction of a percent. And what I want you to understand there is, and I know that I've said this ad nauseum, is that there is more than enough for you to be hitting your goal. Just don't be buying into all the stuff that you're hearing. There is a reason that we're essential as an industry. So practice environmental indifference. The second one is agency. Agency is the degree of control you feel you have over your decisions, behaviors, and emotional states. So when you think about agency, think of it as a continuum, that there is high agency and low agency. High agency means that you're the type of person that doesn't negotiate with yourself. You say, I'm going to do this, and you do it. So you decide, and then you go. And it feels like you have this high sense of control, that you are the puppeteer, not the puppet. Low agency is on the other end of the spectrum. People who practice low agency are those who say one thing and then constantly do another. And by the way, a lot of times what I've noticed, the people who talk most about crushing goals and high accountability are actually most of the time practicing low agency. What they're saying is a compensation tactic to make themselves feel more important than they are. And I don't find that people who talk that way are actually highly accountable. They don't possess high agency, not as it relates to the things that matter most in their business. So practice high agency. You know what this really boils down to, you guys? Keep your promises. That's it. If there was one skill that would absolutely build the best life possible for you as a leader of a business, a family, a life, it is your ability to keep your promises, practicing high agency. The next one, and this is one I recently made up. This is fear fluency, fear fluency. See, we have a tendency to make fear our foe instead of our friend. But what I've come to know is that often fear is a great system for preparing your focus. And if you look at this definition, it's possessing the ability to interpret the messages fear is giving you in a manner that positively enhances your life. I think we all have a guardian angel. She sits up in the clouds, and here's what she wants. There are specific results that she wants you to get. Those results have to come from certain actions. Those actions have to come from feelings, and feelings come from focus. So it's results, actions, feelings, focus. Now, what controls focus? Questions. So she text messages you these questions. What if the real estate market slows down? What if? Those are all great questions. What I want you to start doing, and again, I know I'm a broken record, write the question down. What is it that your fear is attempting to prepare you for? Make fear a productive tool, not something to be afraid of or to disempower you. But fear fluency and the ability to accurately interpret fear as a tool is so important as it relates to developing an unbeatable mind. This is a big one right here. This is another made up one that I created, frustration and tolerance. Most of us know how to win. What we don't know is what we don't know how to deal with are the feelings of failure that are inevitable in the pursuit of winning. We know the mechanics of winning. We don't know the mindset of losing. So frustration and tolerance is an immunity to frustration and pursued feelings of failure cemented by a blue-collar work ethic married to an indomitable will. What this means is that you are not going to allow feelings of frustration, failure, rejection, doubt to stop you. I am intolerant of frustration. It does not fucking affect me. That frustration is a symptom that you're doing it right, not a symptom that you're on the wrong path. So frustration and tolerance, meaning I can deal with the feelings that I don't want to feel in the pursuit of my ultimate goal. See, I think of this as resistance training. So if you've ever studied resistance training, the goal is muscular hypertrophy, something like that. That sounds right. But you've got to develop that at an emotional level. See, what happens when you resistance train is your muscles break down and then they rebuild. And all of you are going to encounter resistance on the way to your best business, your best life, whatever. But all I want you to do here with this is get perspective and meaning on it. Frustration, fear, doubt, all of those things are simply the minor tears in your emotional system that if you work through them, not run from them, they will build back up and make you stronger. What ultimately happens is the expansion of your comfort zone. So what was hard before is no longer hard. And so if you're going to get there, frustration and tolerance is the way to do it. And then lastly, the ideal competitive mindset. I didn't make this one up. This is one I borrowed. It's the attitude you want during competition, such as performing athletically, competing aggressively, i.e. having a laser focus and or being resilient. Now, the thing about the ideal competitive mindset, it's ultimately the answer to the question, what is it like inside of me when I am playing at my very best? What is it like inside of me when I am playing at my very best? And the best in the world know how to first identify that. They know what it's like, right? That feeling of everything you do and everything you say is pure gold. They have a book, all kinds of research on this. It's a state of flow. It's this dance. But what we don't understand and what we're not taught is first how to identify it And secondly, how to trigger it at will. And what I'm asking you for is during your lead gen, particularly in the morning, you're doing it in a state of the ideal competitive mindset, that you're doing it from a high sense of belief. I have a new definition for belief. Write this down. Beliefs are just feelings of fact. They're just feelings of fact. So something that you believe is a fact to you. And so if you sit down and you're about to make your lead gen, recruiting, whatever calls you're about to make, and you've got a high degree of belief, meaning you're feeling a fact that I'm going to do this and something great will happen, it is a self-fulfilling prophecy, whether you're thinking positively or negatively. But the ideal competitive mindset makes it fun too. So what is it like inside of you when you are playing at your best? How do you identify it? How do you trigger it? This is the best example that I can give to you. Obviously, I have to throw this in because if you are a 49ers fan, so sorry, I thought you guys were the #1 defense in the system. We pretty much manhandled you yesterday. But if you watch him or any professional athlete, when they come out on the field, look at what they do. Look at how they stand, look at how they move. There's a reason that people love sporting events and concerts so much. And the reason is those are the only places we allow ourselves to yell, scream, move, gesture with the full expression of being a human. We don't do that day to day. We come into our office, we sit behind our desk, we sit in a chair. But don't let a single day go by that you don't enter your ideal competitive mindset. So just to rehash this, I would love to see pop quiz. What are the 5 ingredients of an unbeatable mind? Pop yourself off mute, put it in the chat box. What are the 5 ingredients of a unbeatable mind? Short-term memory. I love that, Dylan. That's great. Who just said I'll talk?
I'll talk. I typed them all out for us, Jordan. So the environmental.
Which one stuck out to you most, Jenny? Out of all of them, if you were like, I'm going to practice that one, which one would it be?
I think agency, the degree of control you feel you have over your decisions, behaviors, and emotional states.
Yeah. Honestly, I think you nailed that out of all of them. If you got that one, the rest of them would fall into place. So great job, Jenny.
That's what I get for talking.
Yeah, way to go. Anybody else have an aha, have a question? I know I don't typically do this, but I want to hear from you because this group has grown a little quiet over the last month. And I want to make sure that you're with me here. So what did you hear? What did you get? What questions do you have? Number 5, the ideal competitive mindset. We should talk together more. That's a good one. Give me 2 more, and then we'll go into our breakout rooms.
Hi, Jordan, Tenley here.
Hi, Tenley.
One that really rang true for me was frustrational intolerance.
Mm-hmm.
That one hit home.
Why?
I tend to let things that shouldn't bother me become the thing that I have to perfect all the time. And really, I should just let it go because it doesn't affect me, my business, my life. But because it wasn't done the way I wanted it to happen, or that I would have liked it to look, or whatever the case is, I just decide that that's the hill I'm going to die on.
So you're suffering at the level of your expectation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So change your expectation, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. I hope none of you become perfect because you'll never have anyone to relate to. Some of you will get that later. One more. What did you get out of our conversation? Go ahead.
Hey, Jordan, mine was frustration and tolerance. Of course, with the change of the market and everything, may feel a little bit more frustrated, but looking at more at a opportunity and solving problems more and not being scared of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's, thank you, Lois. And I think the thing, you guys, the perspective to take on that is, I get that it's frustrating, but imagine how frustrating it is for the agent population that doesn't plug into training, coaching, whatever it is that you're plugged into. Imagine those people, right? Like their frustration is going to show up in the next 2 to 3 months when they exit the business. And that's where the real opportunity will lie. But there's no indicator that I've seen that is showing us that interest rates are going to go down in the next 12 months. And I think the thing that I want everybody to understand is it's kind of like when COVID hit, and, you know, we were like 2 months into it, and I was thinking, man, this has got to be over soon. And I'll never forget what Gary said on one of the masterminds. He said, you're approaching this like a sprint, and it's actually a marathon. And the faster we can make peace with the fact that this is probably not going to go away for another 14 months minimum, the faster we can go about the business of succeeding. And do it in a way, like my good friend Craig Zuber says, with ease and elegance, not blood and guts. So thank you, you guys, for those ahas. Thank you all for being here. I trust that you'll join me on the Charge the Storm Mastermind. Will somebody check to see, are the breakout rooms open and ready?
I see them.
We're
Yeah.
good. All right, everybody. I'll see you next week. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye.